Previously on Red Raven River.
Delbert came prepared for a float trip, and he's always packing heat, and he's carrying, he ain't concealing.
Littleman, what did you bring?
I brought a ping pong ball and some expired beef jerky.
The door on the cabin has been replaced with a steel door instead of the previous wood one, and one of the windows has been boarded up.
Delbert's letting everyone know, like, don't worry guys, like I've done some rapids before.
So there's gonna be some bumpy spots, but some overhangs and stuff. But I wouldn't, and a couple of that juddy rocky stuff formations in the lake. Is it a lake? What is this, man? I don't even know.
Timothy, we're in a river, bud.
I'm drunk.
Can we do this backwards? Like that'd be so much fun. Like push up off the steep bluff, just go right at it, but turn.
Littleman, you wake up and your traumatic flaw kicks in.
Drops the oars. You guys didn't actually invite me to come along, and
Timothy, we called you.
Yeah, but that kind of felt more like obligation.
You start hearing the sounds of other people starting to come down, laughing, clapping, cheering, going, woohoo!
See an oar back there?
A what?
An oar, one of your paddles. Well, our paddle.
No.
Dick pulls out an ice-cold water balloon and throws it.
An explosion of winter's fury just hits her in the face. You're getting a phone call, and the name is Tubbs.
Hello? Who is this? Tubbs? Voice on there said something about river and why.
Yeah, that's
How
weird.
did this person wouldn't have known that we'd be on the river.
Everyone hears this loud crack. Tess, you notice that the water level of the river is quickly lowering. You are now sinking down into the riverbed as the water is somehow being drained away quicker than it's being replenished. What do you want to do, Tess?
Am I still with Karn in this situation?
Tess is, yes, and you're in the middle canoe.
The water's there's no waterfall nearby that's causing the water to deplete.
Do you want to look around?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, make a roll.
8.
No, you're still in a pretty narrow passage. You can't actually tell where the water could be draining away so quickly.
Sure is nice out here in the river.
I don't know. Do we have an anchor for our canoe? Is it shallow enough for us to walk in it without getting our bodies completely wet? Is it knee length?
I like that this is the primary concern. Do you want to just ride this out and see how far it goes? How much it drains? How far the canoe sinks down? So Tess, just keeping this all to herself, is just gonna let it all, you guys are enjoying nature, but that was kind of weird. And then it's to the point where you've actually lowered beneath the shoreline that you figure out, something's going on. The water drains away. No more water is coming down the river, and your canoes come to rest on a mostly rocky river bottom. You've probably been lowered 20, 25 feet below the tops of the riverbanks, and your canoe comes to rest and then lists to one side, and you all just kind of hold on to the edges so you don't get spilled out. What would you like to do? Let's start with Tess. You're the most aware. Tess, what would you like to do? There's no more water. The river bed is slippery, but there's no more water.
Muddy?
Sure. Muddy, slippery, rocks.
I have Karn dismount from the canoe and have him get all muddy and maybe take a look around.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Can I
not
do
getting muddy. I don't really do dirt. It's kind of actually in my
I don't do dirt
my
neither.
job contract for all my jobs is I don't do dirt.
Tess asking Karn to get out of the canoe. Karn's like, nah. What are Delbert and Lily doing?
Delbert, look guys, I've been through this before. I can understand why you might be scared. A lot of you probably don't know about, tides and how they affect rivers. And so this is clearly, the tide's gone out. So it's just a little pit stop. We'll go ahead, we'll hop out, drag our boats off to the side there. We'll get it up there, take a little break. Water will come back in no time. It's probably a good time for lunch anyway. I know I said I was going to catch my dinner out here, but I haven't had time. But I did bring a couple, I brought something to cook there. You know how I like to cook. You know how Delbert likes to get down with the food. Don't worry, though. I'll catch us something later. But, Delbert, time to eat. Delbert's ready to eat. I got also, I've drank 5 of these Zimas and 2 of these Red Bulls. Delbert's got to piss. Delbert's got to stop talking about himself in the third person. But Delbert's really feeling it right about now. And it's
Lily the prankster. What are you doing in this
out
situation?
Of here, Lily. Get the dragon.
The what?
So let's get to dragon.
What dragon?
Woman. I swear.
What are Littleman and Warlock doing?
Well, Warlock once again is disappointed that he has to put his book away.
Hey, Warlock, man, I don't want to interrupt your book or nothing, man, because I know you're really big into that Harry Squatter or whatever the frick it is, man. But does this seem right?
No, and once again, Delbert seems to think it's a thing. It's not a thing.
Well, no,
Whatever.
It's probably a thing if he thinks it sounds right when you think about it.
Have you thought about it, Timothy?
Oh, that's
Have you thought about it? Have you had one thought?
Wait.
In that little head of yours.
It's happening.
Littleman, roll for a thought.
I lost it, man.
That sun is really warm.
Oh, yeah.
And all this talking, it kind of makes you a little sleepy.
I'm getting... Whoa.
Timothy.
Maybe life will find a way, and it's just time to take a nap,
Timothy, let's get the boat.
I mean, okay, what's the weight difference versus the boat, and without me lying in it versus me lying in it?
Timothy, I'm gonna need you to get out of the boat.
Yeah.
Help me pull it over there to the side.
Oh, man, but the thing is, I also lost my shoes.
Timothy, do you want there to be another incident? Because you are this close.
Oh, no.
To there being
no
another incident.
No, Jimmy.
No,
no, I don't.
Okay, Timothy, let's get out of the boat and let's drag it to the side. Delbert was right about that, because I don't want to be here if the water decides to suddenly come back.
Yeah, I already said okay.
Okay,
you don't have to raise
you.
your voice to me.
I'm sorry. I was in a really good spot in my book. Timothy. Here, look, I have an extra happy in my pocket for you, buddy. Catch.
Yeah, man, let's go.
Let's go. Drag the boat.
Drag it in the boat.
Tess, could you go ahead and make a roll for me?
Yeah. It is 11.
You're not drinking, so I'm going to let you add your skills. So that would bring it to... Is that 14?
14, yep.
Littleman, go ahead and make one more roll for me.
16.
Littleman, you really want to get out of the canoe. I mean, that's what your friend wanted you to do.
Yeah.
But as you take that happy, once you have it,
Yeah.
you realize he's already given away his bargaining chip.
Yeah, it's true, man.
So you just take it, put it in your pocket, get back in the canoe, start going to sleep.
That's 99, man, I guess. Fucking sucker.
Tess and Delbert, they start looking around, and you see some large snapping turtles. There's a catfish flopping over on the side.
A catfish?
Do not mock his accent. He has a speech impediment. Do not call it out.
You also see what might be some cottonmouths, snakes, just digging and flopping and slithering around, probably just as confused as you are about what's happening. Tess, you look up and you see that there is this dark moving shadow up on the ridge of one of the bluff. And as you look at it more, you see the reflection of 2 eyes looking at you. What do you want to do?
Yell at said thing.
You yell, and your voice echoes off the sides of the bluff as it travels up, and the dark shape tenses up really fast before loosening, and then you see it move a little bit closer out from the trees, and you see that it is a black bear. The skin is loosely kind of falling and folding as it's moving, and it's starting to climb down the bluff in a direction that makes you think it's headed towards a riverbank near you. It's still moving pretty slowly. At probably 10 minutes is what it would take if it keeps at its current pace to get down to you guys. Tess, what do you do?
Delbert. I look at Delbert and I'm like, hey, there's a black bear heading our way. What should we do?
You don't gotta be scared of the black bear, okay? It's really just a kitty cat. You just get big, and you get bigger than it, and you get loud, and you be like, fight me! Because the black bear don't really want to fight, okay?
Okay, well, go on then.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Alright, that's what Delbert's here for. I'm gonna walk up to towards that bear.
Wait, I gotta get this on camera. Hold on.
Delbert gets out of the canoe. Your feet start sinking in some places. There's enough rock down here that you're not going into like quicksand or anything like that, but it is slow and cumbersome as you're squelching and squatching your way up towards the side of the riverbank, because you are beneath the
shoreline.
But yeah, beneath the shoreline, you are like a good 20 feet down.
There's like a ledge,
Yeah, it goes at an angle at first, and then kind of just shears, and you're in a more sheer part right now. You could try to climb up it. Not an easy
climb. Well, probably for Delbert, though. He's very...
Oh, Delbert's a master at this.
Yeah, Delbert's a master at everything. Delbert's not scared, though, because remember, Delbert has his trusty sidearm, so if this doesn't work, Delbert's going to shoot the bear.
Beautiful.
So...
Go ahead and make a roll for climbing.
That's a natural 20. First of the day.
Describe how you climb up this slippery side.
It's all kind of a muddy, slick side, right?
Yes.
Delbert, he's a big fan of Wolverine. So Delbert realizes this is a very wet embankment that used to be a river there. So Delbert just takes his hands, makes little knife hands, and he just jabs them in. And then he, kicks his boots in underneath, and he just right up the side of this muddy embankment.
Hey, you wouldn't think that would work.
It's more of a clay. It's a thick clay. Does it work?
You're on top.
Yeah, top of the world, baby.
The bear does come to the edge of the riverbank, the shore, and looks at you.
Now listen here, bear. You don't want none of this. You go on and get out of here, bear. Ah! Go, bear. Ah! Hand on my sidearm.
The bear flinches and runs back into the forest.
I told you didn't want none of Delbert McClintock.
You then hear another loud crack, and the ground shakes a little bit. Even the trees wobble.
Nothing to see here.
Are you going to stay up on the riverbank or go back down?
Lily, bring the boat. We gotta get out of there, man. Bring over the boat. I don't want to lose the deposit. I'm already up here. I can't be bothered to climb back down. I scared away the bear. You guys need to get the boats over here. Look, get over here. There's some rope in my pack, okay? Bring that over here. You toss me the rope. I'll tie it off, because I don't expect you guys to follow the huge Jackman, workout like I do to get this swole. So I'll get a rope, tie you all off, and then you guys can, get on up here. You guys might have to go pull, Tess and Buttsnarf's boat over there, Karn, because I don't think either of them are going to get out in the mud.
Quit calling me Buttsnarf.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you could hear me. Buttsnarf and...
Dick?
What?
No, not you.
What did I do? Fucking idiots, man.
Delbert, because you're not in the trench, basically, you're up on a higher position, this allows you to hear things that the other people who are still in the riverbed do not hear. So you're the only one who starts to hear the faintest of hissing sounds, which slowly gets turned up like someone's adjusting the volume until and from your vantage point, you can see that the riverbed is again starting to fill up with water. You also hear from the distance what sounds like trees snapping, boulders shifting, and the sound of a massive amount of rushing water coming towards you guys. What do you want to do?
Fucking run! The water is coming back! Get out of the riverbed! Move your ass or you will drown! I'm not down there to save you. So there's no way you survive without me. Get out of the... Jimothy! You too! I have snacks up here. Flamin' hot Cheetos. A whole bag, bud, if you help everyone get up here right now.
Yeah, he's asleep.
Tess, what do you do?
Me? I get back in the canoe and
Delbert fires his gun in the air.
Do you have a gun?
Move your asses! The water is not waiting for you.
Oh, he's not waiting.
The gunshot wakes Littleman up. Littleman, what are you doing?
Yeah! French make a fine. French make us fine wine.
Littleman, they're coming to fire you. Run!
Oh no. He just runs.
So you get out of the canoe and you start trying to run through the riverbed. Gotcha. Tess is in the canoe. Delbert's up on top. Littleman's out of the canoe in the riverbed.
He's doing what he was told.
It's this point where a wave of water, ridiculous amount of water, is not only coming through the river channel, it's also coming over the shores, through the trees. It's bulldozing trees and rocks along with it. Here's what's gonna happen. The water comes, Delbert, what starts out as a trickle at your feet suddenly gets up to your ankles, your knees, and the movement is starting to push you along with the faster moving current down below. Littleman, the water comes over your head and dunks you. You're completely underwater. Everyone else in a canoe is holding on to the sides as they're moving back and forth, but the buoyancy of the canoe is lifting it up as the river rises. So we've got two things going on. We've got people in canoes and we've got people not in canoes. As this flood of water is pushing you through forest and debris and rocks into the south direction. So the people in canoes are gonna roll normally. The people not in canoes are gonna roll with disadvantage as you're trying to find a way to swim and navigate and not drown. Let's start with Delbert. Please describe to me what you're trying to do to not die.
Okay, so since the water is hitting Delbert at a slower pace because he's higher up, he's started to try to run with the current, but also in an angle that's away from the deeper water. So he's trying to go with it, but kind of work his way to hope he eventually gets to the edge.
A little bit further into the forest, should we say?
Yes, so further and further away from the bank, but with the flow of water, because you don't try to run against that. Delbert knows.
Roll with disadvantage, please. Tell me what you get.
That'll be the 2.
Littleman, what are you doing?
He's just running. He doesn't even know. He's
Make a roll.
Somebody just woke him up and yelled, "Run!" With disadvantage?
With disadvantage.
Won't stay on the table. Okay, 17.
With disadvantage, 17?
Yeah.
Damn.
Use a runner.
Came to play on that today.
Delbert, you were pretty sure it was that way. That way, less water. And however, maybe it was the sun got in your eye. I don't know. There's lots of bugs. I think a bug maybe got in your eye. And so it veered you off a little bit. So you're still running with the water, but you are not going towards the shallower part of it. You are going further in, getting closer and closer to the river and you get swept right off your feet and start traveling down, and you start hitting into rocks and into trees. Can you please take 2 points of damage?
Oh, I meant to do this. It's better to flow with it in the deep part.
You say right before you I don't know, how do you describe that? Yeah, there's the pull and there's you, and you kind of hit it, and then you curl around it for a second before you, one of those. I don't know, that probably has a name, right?
You well, I guess it's not a scorpion. I don't know. I turn into a U around a pole.
Yeah,
a tree.
You go from an L to a U. You horseshoe a tree. Well done. Littleman, you just start running. Somehow you're running, the current picks you up as you're running, and you're still running in the current. You see this little Mario Man motion, and so your feet are ducking it under the water, and somehow this motion is allowing you to tread. So you're treading the water as it's just rising, and then you hit up against the canoe that had Warlock in it, Would you try to get in it, or do you want to just keep running?
I'll get in it, man.
You get in it, no problem. Can I have Lily make a roll for me, please?
Yeah.
7.
Lily, as you fall out of the canoe, your head immediately gets hit by a branch. Your vision goes white for a second, and now you don't hear anything. You look around, and you just see, you get the sense that you're floating, and you're no longer in the canoe. Can you please take 2 points of damage? What is Karn doing? Karn is in the canoe with Tess.
He's just trying to figure out what's going on. He's not really doing anything, I guess.
Holding onto the sides, perhaps?
For dear life.
Make a roll.
1
I'm sorry, what?
is a 1.
You rolled a 1?
Or you want me to roll with disadvantage? Go ahead, do that. Yeah, I just rolled a 1 again.
Snake eyes.
What do I win?
As you're holding on, your canoe does a barrel roll because of all the debris that's slamming into it, and when you're under the water is when you let go. And so you get pulled out before the canoe flips back over with Tess still in it. You go down and just hit into a rock which catches your foot. So now you are stuck with rushing water over you, your foot trapped against this rock. Take 2 points of damage. You're underwater and are potentially going to drown.
That'll happen.
Tess, what are you doing?
Our canoe flipped over. I get swept out of the canoe as well.
Okay, you're just taking the L?
Yes. No.
No, because he said you held on to the canoe.
No,
I'm down for it.
He says it barrel rolled,
Yeah, he said Karn got swept out and under.
Oh, okay.
Nothing happened to you yet.
Wait,
other
so,
than
but we're
Look,
on the same
I am
page
all
on that?
for characters wanting to shoot themselves in the foot as a reaction. I am perfectly down with that.
yeah. So you
That is not a
didn't
problem.
necessarily fall
out too, but it's fully upright again?
Yes,
It's
it did a
right now
barrel
it's
roll.
fully upright. It's getting hit with branches. Water is coming in from the sides.
What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to live so I can make a new post on my Instagram.
I'm gonna give you a hard choice.
Okay.
You can make a normal roll to try to stay in the canoe, but right now you're holding your cell phone. So for that normal roll, you have to drop your cell phone. Or you can roll with disadvantage and keep the cell phone and hold on with one hand. Disadvantage means you roll twice but take the lower number. Do you want to hold on to your cell phone?
My cell phone is my life, so.
Please roll twice.
5. Other one was an 11. Yeah.
You're holding on to that cell phone and you catch your reflection, and right now you have been hit with water, but the way the water has kind of smeared and made your makeup drip, this could be a good look for you. This isn't bad. And while you're thinking that is when your canoe goes from the river and drifts into the forest proper, off the banks, off the river channel. And as it's doing so, it just hits tree after tree after tree, turns over, and you also spill out. Can you take 2 points of damage, please? So I'm not keeping track of your health or your sanity, so if you ever go to 0, just let me know. All right, we've got, who is in the canoe at this point? Delbert's not. Lily is?
Littleman
Not.
is.
Littleman
Littleman
is.
took off running. Dick was trying to drag the canoe to the side per Delbert's instructions.
Lily's out of the canoe.
Lots of moving pieces, lots going on. All right, as you guys are now being swept down, those in canoes and even those not in canoes, the flow of this, whatever this is shifting. It's not going, you're no longer going through what you would have seen on the Yelp review as the normal course of the river. You are now moving up over onto the forest. And as you go that way, you make out just what are the indications of a previous, arm of the river that looked like it hadn't been used before or in a long while, that had been boarded up, but the boards are now broken as other things have been smashed into them. As you're floating through, you now start to see members of the previous float trip party that passed you. We'll call it Ice Splash Girl. She is pinned to a tree, impaled by a log. The Among Us guy has somehow climbed up the branches of a tree and is just looking at you with like complete shock on his face as everything is just flowing past, and his tree is starting to bend over from the weight of all of this rushing water. As you guys continue to move down, can you all make one more roll for me?
Just on primaries?
On primaries.
5.
Delbert got a 2. And Testicles got an 8. Hot dice.
You are all wondering, where is this water coming from? What is this? This doesn't seem to be good at all. And so you do not have time to prepare for when the water comes up to the edge of the bluff and starts creating its own waterfall. Instead, you just get swept right over it. As you're falling, time does seem to slow down in that strange way you always hear about and sometimes see depicted in movies, like right before the impact in a car collision. And you're wondering to yourself, is this, once you hit the ground, is that also gonna feel like it's in slow-mo? What's that gonna feel? Are you gonna feel it slowly, or your senses gonna catch up to reality once you hit to bottom? Delbert, Tess, and Littleman, you are absolutely sure you are gonna die. What are you thinking?
They'd all just listened to Delbert. Everything would have been fine. I told them the tide was going to come back. They didn't listen to me. They don't know nothing about river tides, and now Delbert's going to die because of these fools.
Littleman?
Man, I don't think we're gonna get the deposit back on these boats.
Tess?
Well, I won't be able to get my gram post on there if I'm dead, so
So who's gonna make that last post for you?
the imaginary Tubbs person that called me earlier.
Tess, make a roll for me.
12.
Tess, you're still managed to hold on to your phone, and as you've gone over the cliff, you feel it vibrating in your hand again, and as you look, you see that you have another incoming call from Tubbs.
I answer it.
In the slow motion bullet time world that we're living in, you see as her hand just slowly goes to hit the button, except Delbert and Littleman, you see her press the button in normal time.
She answering her phone?
And you see that the water is moving down in normal time. Debris is moving past you quickly. You are not. Tess, what do you say to, we'll say Ghost Tubbs on the phone? Ghost Tubbs?
Wait, so it's moving in slow time for me?
We've
But it's...
frozen in air, essentially.
Tess, what you know is that you're answering a phone and you're falling and everything is in slow-mo.
Oh, okay. Well, I answer it like I did the first time and say, hello? Tubbs? Hello? Do I hear anything?
You hear static hiss. Yeah, static hissing, cracking pop noises, and you just hear out envy.
Envy apples?
I love Tess. Tess is my favorite. Tess is my absolute favorite. Tess, you then look down and see that your shoe falls off and just falls normally to the ground below you, going with the current, going with the debris. However, you'll look at Delbert, you'll look at Littleman, and you see that the three of you are not moving at the same speed as everything else around you. And then a shadow comes in between you and the sun. You have a choice. Your choice is you can either prepare for the impact that's going to come once you hit the bottom, or you can try to turn around and look at what's the shadow. We'll start with Delbert.
We've clearly caught an updraft here, and it's keeping us elevated. I've seen this. I haven't had to encounter it. So we could try to ride this back up to safety. So let's go ahead. I'm going to turn up. I'm going to look up and try to find a way to just swim up it like a salmon.
Beautiful. Delbert's gonna turn and look. Littleman?
It'll turn and look.
Tess.
Me too.
Everyone roll for me, please.
Delbert got a 2.
Okay.
14.
Ooh.
Tess?
Tess Tickle got a nat 20.
Delbert, you try to turn to see what is happening above you, and a shoe smacks you right in the side of your face. Take 1 point of damage. You feel like your ears are going to pop from that static sound that's starting to build up in your head. It's the static sound separate from the running river. But you do manage to turn again and just catch the sight of that black bear as it's looking down at you upon a cropping of rock that's overlooking this now newly made waterfall. And then for Delbert, that static sound in your head finally pops in your ears and your vision goes black. For Littleman and Tess, you also turn and look up, and you also see the black bear watching you along a non-overflown portion of the rocky bluff above. However, your eyes move on from the bear farther to a black form that seems now just to hover between you and the sun. Both Tess and Littleman, give yourself +2 to lore. However, you also now need to make a roll to see how much sanity you're about to lose, and this depends on how well you roll. The better you roll means the better you understand what you're seeing, and the more sanity you're going to lose. Can Littleman and Tess please make a roll?
Tess got a 16.
Littleman?
9.
You are so lucky. Littleman, my simple man. This is one of those times when not knowing what you're looking at is actually probably a good thing. For Littleman, your inner voice just starts screaming out pieces of words, but nothing really concrete comes out until you start shouting out black, flying, sharp, and then the static in your ears explodes, pops, your vision's gone. So Littleman, you take 2 points of sanity damage.
And
You lose 2 sanity.
what happens when sanity is at 0? Hypothetically speaking?
Hypothetically, you would tell me, and if either of your stats reach 0, I take control of your character.
So let's say, like, not hypothetically speaking, that happened. Because it happened.
Littleman is at 0 sanity.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
He's got notes, folks. He's got little sticky notes.
Tess,
Yeah.
you also have that inner voice trying to just scream at you, what is this? You go from black, flying, and then you just start screaming out, sharp, eyes, pain, birds, and then you scream, bird, and then pop. Take 4 points of sanity damage.
She's still good.
We're all good. And
We're not all good. We're not all good.
your vision has gone. You are no longer aware of your surroundings. You all chose to look, so you did not prepare for the whatever impact is going to be on the ground.
It's a cliffhanger.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Red Raven River, an actual play podcast by your friends at Horrorble Opinions. For this story, we are using the Eldtrich hack system by Dan Masters, which can be found at DriveThruRPG. Music and sound credits can be found in the show notes. Remember to subscribe to Horrorble Opinions and tell others about us so we can continue growing our horrible community. And as always, I've been your Game Master Ryan. Thanks for listening, horrible people.